Oh la la. T'es plus obligé de me mettre, tu peux changer l'écran si tu veux. Good evening and welcome. You're watching the Quiz in English with me, Hayley Edmonds. I thought, why not have a little literary inspiration? Why not stimulate our intellectual minds and talk of an extremely well-known, if not the most well-known playwright, poet and actor in the world. Yes, I'm talking about Mr. William Shakespeare, the English writer who appeared on a £5 note. That is how famous he was. As if that's proof of how good you have to be in life. Well, it's not bad. And tonight there's €100 up for grabs in this literary quiz. €100. Now, to get your part of those €100, you have to answer 9 questions, and each question is allocated a certain number of points, from question number 1, which is worth 10 points, right up to question number 9, which is worth 100 points. And to make that a little bit easier for you, we give you 4 jokers. Yes, 2 50-50s that will take away 2 wrong answers per question, and 1 multiplied by 3 for each question, and 1 multiplied by 5. So if you're playing strategically, you'll keep your jokers in your pocket until the last 3 questions, where it's talking big, big points. And for those of you who played so strategically, you get maximum points. That's 960. You'll be classed amongst the super winners, and we give you an extra €50 to share amongst yourselves. So let's test our literary brains and get started in this quiz in English on Shakespeare. Question number 1. Shakespeare was born in which year? Was it 1564? Was it 1664? Was it 1764? Or was it 1864? Now, William Shakespeare was born in which year? There's a little spelling mistake there. It's not Shakespeare's. We're not looking for Shakespeare's sister, the group from the 80s or the 90s, the Bananarama singers. We're looking for Shakespeare, a.k.a. the Bard. We want to know what year he was born in. Well, let's get off do a good start. It looks like the majority of you, yes, have got that one correct. 40% of you to be precise. It's 1564. Yes, he was born in 1564 in Stratford-upon-Avon and lived until he was around 45 years old. Souris verte, you got that one correct. Well done. 23% of you thought it was 1664, 21% of you thought it was 1764, and 16% of you thought it was 1864. Let's move on to question number 2. What does the word bard mean? Does it mean singer? Does it mean writer? Does it mean entertainer? Or does it mean poet? Now, he was all of these. Good old Shakespeare, polyvalent Shakespeare, man of many talents. He was an actor of he was a member of the acting troupe Lord Chamberlain's Men. Lord Chamberlain's Men, who did a lot of work on theatre during that period and evolved it a lot in that time. But we want to know what the bard means. Why do we call him the bard? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the right right answer is poet. Bard means poet. It was one of his many talents of our Sir William. 50% of you got that one correct. 14% of you thought it was entertainer. 21% of you thought it was writer. And 15% of you thought it was singer. Tufik Hussein, you got that one correct. And just for the anecdote, in Shakespeare plays, when characters do start singing, it's often significant. It means they have some kind of mental health problem, notably Ophelia. There we go. What is the name of Shakespeare's theatre? When I'm near to the theatre, I think of Shakespeare. Is it the Roundhouse, the Globe, the O2 Arena, or the Thatch? Now, what is the name of Shakespeare's theatre? Now, it was a theatre that his troupe built. It wasn't his actual own theatre. He wasn't the director. He wasn't kind of managing everything, but he performed there, and it was his troupe that built it. Now, what was its name? The right answer, ladies and gentlemen, was the Globe. The Globe. It actually burnt down in 1613 to be rebuilt again, and then they knocked it all down again. And then in 1997, 750 feet down the road, they built another one, the construction that we know today. And it's absolutely beautiful structure. I've been, I saw the Tempest there. You know. 47% if you got that one correct. 24% if you thought it was the Roundhouse. There have been Shakespeare plays at the Roundhouse. 11% if you thought it was the O2 Arena. Okay, I suggest you go on Google and Google the O2 Arena, because I don't think you'd associate that with any kind of Elizabethan architecture. And 18% if you thought it was the Thatch. Amina, you got that one correct. Question number 4. Which of Shakespeare's plays is the longest? Is it Macbeth? Is it Hamlet? Is it Twelfth Night? Or is it the Comedy of Errors? We want to know which of Shakespeare's plays is the longest. Why longest? Which one? Well, the right answer is the tragedy of Hamlet, the Prince of Denmark. It is Hamlet. It's 4,000 lines to be precise, and it takes around 3 hours to perform. So if you ever do get the opportunity to go and see it, take a packed lunch. Oh, right, okay. So as you can tell today, it's a Christmas party here, and here are my fans. Guys, I'm doing a quiz. I'm doing a quiz on Shakespeare, so I haven't been to bring to the table, apart from alcohol, which is the case thus far. There we go. Okay, well. Guys, I'm doing a Shakespearean play, so do any of you know any Shakespeare?
Merry Christmas!
Oh, Merry Christmas. There we go. That's, yep, okay.
It's the longest. Hamlet. Oh my God, yes.
Yes, it is Hamlet. There we go. Hamlet. 56% got that right. Right, who's going to answer the next question? Go on. Go on then. Next
How
question.
many plays do we know that Shakespeare wrote?
La prochaine question. The next question.
Next question.
Right, question number 5.
How many plays do we know that Shakespeare wrote? 10, 12, 39, 31.
Or 31. Now, how many plays do we know that Shakespeare wrote? Obviously, at that period of time, we're not sure of the precise number, but there are... What are you doing? Giving clues away? Or just pushing the ceiling? We're just pumping it up right here. So the right answer is 39. We know that he wrote 39 plays and roughly 100 more. Bisous, bisous. Happy Christmas, happy Christmas. And yes, so more than 100 sonnets, but 39 plays. So there we go. That was the Christmas party at Bethewone. And I am obviously in the Christmas spirit, as you can tell, with such a jovial quiz on Shakespeare. Anyway, Yusuf Adani, you got that one correct. Let's move on. It's 41% if you got that one correct. Let's move on to question number 6. Which of these is not a Shakespeare character? Is it Shylock? Is it Salarino? Is it Portia? Or is it Portino? Which of these is not a Shakespeare character? Which of these is not featured in a Shakespeare play? Or is just any character in any Shakespeare play? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you got that. I'm going to kind of pick up speed a bit, do it a bit faster because we've lost a bit of time there. 38% if you got the right answer is Portino. Shylock, Salarino, and Portia are all from Merchant of Venice. 38% if you got that one correct. 25% if you thought it was Salarino. 25% if you thought it was Shylock. And 13% if you thought it was Portia. No, they were all in Merchant of Venice. Anne El Hadi, well done, you got that one correct. Move on to question number 7. Which actor played Henry V in the 1980 film adaptation of the play? Was it Liam Neeson? Was it Daniel Day-Lewis? Was it Colin Firth? Or was it Kenneth Branagh? That is a collective of outstanding, Oscar-worthy British actors you have to choose from there. And anyone could have actually played that part. But we want to know who actually did. And I think he directed it as well. What I do know is that his ex-wife played, so it was Emma Thompson, his ex-wife, played Princess Catherine of France in it. You know, just get your wife involved. Save a bit of money, save a bit of cash in the budget. The right answer is Kenneth Branagh. Kenneth Branagh, much ado about nothing. Henry V, he's a Shakespearean actor, and we all love a bit of Kenneth. Well, not so much Emma Thompson, because he did cheat on her with Hannah Bonham Carter, but that's another story. Anyway, 64% of you got that one correct. 11% if you thought it was Colin Darcy Firth. 12% if you thought it was Daniel Day-Lewis. And 13% if you thought it was Liam Neeson. Question number 8. Which character describes himself? That's describes. Spelled wrongly. Himself as more sinned against than sinning. Is it King Lear? Is it Hamlet? Is it Macbeth? Or is it Othello? Now, which character describes himself as, oh, I'm more sinned against than sinning? Oh, it was in his darkest hour. Yeah, his. It's okay, I can say his. I haven't put a woman's name amongst them. His darkest hour, and he expresses himself by saying, I'm being more sinned against than sinning. In fact, he's been more punished than he's punished others. So he's kind of been, he's been more sinned against than he's ever sinned. If that makes sense. I hope it does, and I hope you've learned from this. It's King Lear. King Lear, when he was booted out by his awful daughters, Regan and Goneril, when they took power of his kingdom, he was like, oh, I'm going to give you the power. And they were like, okay, see your dad, booted him out. And he was left on the heath in the wind and the rain and the thunderstorms. And his trusty sidekick Kent had come back in. He was like, no, I've been more sinned against than sinning. Woe be thee. Right, let's move on to the statistics. 56% if you got that one correct. 13% if you thought it was the Prince of Denmark, Hamlet. 14% if you thought it was Macbeth. And 18% if you thought it was Othello. Damien 9988, you got that one correct, my friend. Let's move on to question number 9, the final question of this quiz in English on Shakespeare. To thine be self, be true, is from which Shakespeare play. Is it Much Ado About Nothing, Macbeth, Hamlet, or Romeo and Juliet? To thine be self, be true. That is a phrase that has been used and reused for many centuries, and then brought back up again, and been this sentence, the phrase du jour of any Instagrammer who just wants to sound a bit deep and a bit intelligent. To thine self be true is from Hamlet. Now, it was Polonius that says it to his son Laertes as he's about to leave to Paris. He says, whatever you do, to thine be self be true. Or this is above all, to thine be self be true, and if it must follow as night follows day, thou canst not then be false to any other man. Now, however, the true bit is a bit kind of maybe lost in interpretation, because one interpretation is that's like, to thine myself be true, benefit from everything that you do. But if not for anyone who's just kind of, wants to look positively, it's be yourself and be true to yourself, which is a phrase to go by, I see, or a morale to go by. There we go. Wow, 55% if you got that one correct. It was from Hamlet. 9% if you thought it was from Macbeth. 11% if you thought it was Much Ado About Nothing. And the rest of you thought it was from Romeo and Juliet. Ladies and gentlemen, 357 of you will be taking home a part in the €100 prize today. It was €100 for those of you who got more than 400 points, which equates to, I don't know because I don't have statistics, how much per person? No, c'est combien per personne? Yeah. So 28 cents, you'll be taking home 28 cents for the winners of today's quiz in English. And for the super winners, there are how many? Wow, 94 super winners. No, sorry, 60. Right, so there'll be so for the 76 super winners, and they'll be taking home 94 cents. So thank you very much for playing this quiz in English with me, Hayley Edmonds, on Shakespeare. Tomorrow, it's a supercalifragilisticexpialidocious quiz on Mary Poppins, and there's 500 euros up for grabs. So test your knowledge on everything Mary Poppins and try and win some funny money. Until then, have a lovely evening, and I'll see you tomorrow on Be The One. Goodbye.